Life is a game of tarot. My name is Mariah. Welcome. This is a very brief recorded voiceover ahead of the intro to let you know that what follows was actually created within the Lionsgate window. It was originally intended to go out ahead of Lionsgate Peak and recorded that way, but in the end it needed to follow the other reading that sits ahead of this one so that the sequence made sense. So the two videos go together as a couple of videos with timeless messages, of course, that will meet you where you are. But if you haven't seen the other video yet, you might find value in the pair for a full picture. But as always, in any situation, as much as in pick a cards, including mine, trust your intuition and your ability to discern what is for you and what isn't. And without further ado, let's roll tape on the full recorded video. What is awakening in this connection? Life is a game of tarot. My name is Mariah. Welcome. What's awakening within the connection? That is what we're reading on today. It is a soul-aligned field reading. Timeless reading. And it is a, as I said, soul connection reading for those of you sensing something quietly shifting. An invitation perhaps, present or presence you can't quite ignore. Now, whether you're connected in form or feeling it through energy, this reading is to offer you a mirror into yourself, into your person, and into what's rising within the shared field. It's definitely not about prediction or outcome. It is about resonance, presence, and truth. Let this be a clean space to reflect and receive. And just a footnote here, it is an energetic reading. Let it support your inner clarity, not override it. Take what meets your highest self and leave what doesn't. Now, the group timestamps are in the description. Let your intuition guide you to the one that's meant for you. Now, one of the things that I have introduced to my readings, including one that was done before this, and that requires some editing because it came right on the back of an integration. And so I'm not sure what order these readings will go out in specifically, but I think what I'm trying to say here, getting to the point, is that now in the readings I'm going to start using charms, and the reason for this is because that particular reading was about helping in the development of intuition. And so one of the things I want to invite you to do is, before you actually select your group, is to take a moment and allow yourself to envisage through your mind's eye. When I say envisage, I don't necessarily mean just an image. It could be thought, feeling, sound, image, something else that occurs to you. Allow that to come through in the silence within your own mind, or within the allowance of your own mind. And then when the charms come out, look for it in charms, and you might see it at some other place in the reading. Okay, so I don't expect that'll change in the near future, but at least you know that I will be doing charms now for that purpose. Okay, so without further ado, let us get into the readings. Oh, actually, just one more thing before we do. we have crystals on top of each of these boxes, which have got the charms in them. I haven't seen the charms, though. I did open the little one to put a card in. Changed my mind, but before I did see one of them. So, but other than that, we're both going to be surprised. Okay, so I will see you in your group and look forward to your reading. Group 1, welcome to your reading. Life is a Game of Tarot. My name is Mariah. The topic today, what is awakening within the connection? And I have spoken about the topic itself at the top of the video, so feel free to go back and have a listen to that. But otherwise, we're going to get straight into your reading. The questions that we're covering today are, where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? What is awakening within them? What is awakening within you? How is this connection shifting or evolving? A message from the shared field or higher self. And the portal that this connection is opening within you. Now, before we actually go into your reading, I had a song come through, Group 1. And I'm clairsentient, so this song just popped in out of nowhere. It's Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. I had to look up the lyrics because while I do know the songs, I don't usually pay close attention to the lyrics. So I had to look it up, and I was a little bit confused because there are literally maybe 4 lines in the song. So, I logged in with AI and asked, what is this? What is the meaning behind this song? And I'm going to explain this, or I'm actually going to read this out to you. So, the lyrics are simple and repetitive. Don't say that you love me, just tell me that you want me. Which can point to desire versus devotion, ego versus vulnerability, or raw truth over romantic fluff. Now, tusk actually means phallic force, primal masculine energy, the penetrating truth, or instinctual drive. But tusks are also weapons, tools, and symbols of ancient memory, i.e. elephants never forget. They point to power, instinct, impression, and something buried beneath polish or pretense. So it could point to the fact that you may be grappling with unspoken desire, raw energy, or unresolved tension. And the need to reclaim instinct over performance, to own the charge without bypassing it. And there's a message here about carrying something primal or protective, possibly sacral rooted, linked to creative or sexual energy. So that is where we're opening your reading, group number 1. If that has no resonance with you, I would suggest that you are in the wrong group. That definitely popped in right before just before I started the record for the entire reading. So I mean, it might. I suspect it's just for yours, but time will tell whether it's for all 3 groups. So yeah, but what I felt is this is group 1. Okay, so I'm just going to move this to the side. Oh, I forgot to mention at the top of the video that the crystals, okay, I think we all know this is Lumurian quartz, right? Lumurian quartz is actually, interestingly, I think sourced from Brazil. I could be wrong. Okay, I can't tell you much more about Lumurian quartz. Let's just put that to the side and then get into your reading. So, group number 1, I'm starting with the Lightseers Tarot deck, and then I'll work out where to go from here. Where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? What is awakening within them? What is awakening within you? Oh, you know what? I feel like I'm going to use this one. What is this one? Yes or no? No. I did want to go with this one. What is awakening within you? This one. How is this connection shifting? This one? This one? Yes or no? No. Okay. We're going to use that as a clarifier. How is this connection shifting or evolving? This one? This one, yes. Message from the shared field or higher self. And portal deck. I actually feel like, is this one? It is this one. And I've already used it. Okay. Let us go to which one? Which deck? This one? Yes or no? No. This one? No. Okay. Looks like we're going to go with this deck. And the portal that this connection is opening within you. Nice. Okay. Let me just move these a little. I'm going to actually just cite this King of Wands on its side. I'm just going to leave this here. We know it was on its side. I'm just going to tip it like that a little bit. So, where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? King of Wands. And what is awakening within them? Awesome. What is awakening within you? How is this connection shifting or evolving? Message from the shared field or higher self. And I'm going to bring this up here, just because we might need to pull beneath it. Okay, awesome. Just move this up out the way. Great. I think that's good to go. Just move that. Cool. Okay. I think we're ready to go. All right, group number 1. We're starting your reading now. Life is a Game of Tarot. My name is Mariah. The topic, what's awakening within the connection? Now, if you go back to the timestamp for this shuffle, there's a bit of information that came through before the reading started that might be relevant to you, that you might actually appreciate hearing. So I do recommend going back to that timestamp. Otherwise, let's start your reading. We're looking here at where your person is right now in relation to the connection. What they're processing. And, you know, from what I can see here is that this came out on its side, this King of Wands. At the moment they're working on embodying a role of leadership. Showing up in their lives in a way perhaps that is calling on their will, their tenacity, their courage, their ability to be seen, to hold this torch here. And it actually looks like a crown on the top of the torch. It is a crown. I've never noticed this before. But it's like their crown, and they're putting it front and centre. Well, I mean, it's not centre on the card, but I think we know what we mean. And I've never noticed this before as well, but there is a lizard. I don't know if it's an iguana on the front of this king's chest. Yeah, that's what I see here. I see, so, you know, that might be relevant. Something about climbing here, definitely. If I'm looking at the energy of the lizard on the front here, you know, I had an opportunity to observe them when I was in Sedona, and the way they climb up walls. Well, I hadn't really experienced that here in New Zealand. We have skinks, a lot of skinks, but they don't really climb up the walls of buildings. But this one here is definitely on an ascent. and within this energy of this king. Now, when I was talking about the song, which is in that pre-read shuffle, the word primal and also ancient. I don't know if I use the word ancient, but look, there's something about this. Lumurian, like when I started the reading, I also remembered to mention that this is Lumurian quartz. Yeah, from Brazil, but I'm pretty sure that they're sourced from Brazil, and I'm not saying that Brazil wasn't part of Lemuria. I've got no idea. I've never looked into it. I just know that Lemuria does hold a place in my heart as a vibration, and for a lot of us, I would say, who that would be drawn to this reading would have resonance with Lemuria. But the reason that I mention this quartz is because I've been drawn to this image and also have the word primal echoing in my mind. There's something ancient that's also being embodied by your person. Whether it's ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, but it's helping your person reconnect with that aspect of themselves, perhaps the primal aspect, perhaps the leadership aspect, perhaps the aspect of power. It's making a lot of sense. That's very cool. So that's what your person is processing at the moment. That's what is alive in their field. What is awakening within them? You see, what I see here is the sun lighting up this person. And this card was on its side. So, like I said, ascent is the word that comes to mind. They're on an ascent, a path of ascent with this embodiment of primal power. But what is awakening within them is their own capacity to power up their lives. So just as an example that popped through my mind is if, someone's codependent, and I'm not saying that your person was, but what popped into my mind as a distinction is when you are sourcing your power through another person, that's not this. That's not what is awakening within your person. What is awakening within your person is the ability to be that source of power for themselves and perhaps for other people, given that we're looking at the King of Wands here. And, this is a whole lot of fire energy. So what is awakening within you? Group number 1. We have the 5 of Swords here. And before I actually get into looking at the card, I better say what came through as I saw this. I feel like we're talking about integration of whatever baggage you're carrying around inner conflict. For me, this is speaking to inner conflict. We have a horse here. Now I can talk about the card. So we have a horse with a rider. No, there's no rider. I don't know what I was saying. There's a ghost rider. We have a horse with a woman draped over the front. And someone is clearly leading the horse, but they're out of shot. I'm just going to hold this up. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. There's some, I don't know what you call it, but a hunter. When a hunter gets its prey, whatever that is called, that is draped over the back of the horse. And there's no one in the saddle, so it's being walked through the marshes, which is interesting that the rider is leading the horse. Okay, so that all said, perhaps the reason for zoning in or zoning in, yeah, same thing I guess, on the image might become a bit clearer. I think I'm going to pull some cards for the purpose of gaining that clarity. Let's do that now. So what is awakening within you? Can we clarify this Five of Swords? Knight of Swords. In this deck, the Knight and the Page for me both represent communication. Fast and sharp communication, or the want to communicate. Definitely the Knight of Swords. The want to race in with communication, with a piercing truth. I mean, for me, he's definitely carrying the sword of truth there. The sword of clarity. And then we have, right beside it, the Seven of Cups on its side. And there's like a feeling of limbo with this. In my mind, I'm hearing the song. It's Kanye West's song. Something about the dark. I can't remember the name of the song, but something about how the sun follows the moon. I'm sorry. That's the best I can give you. I can hear it in my mind. I just can't hear the lyrics. The Page of Wands. What I feel like this is speaking to in relation to this Five of Swords and what is awakening within you is conflict over racing in with clarity and approaching something with curiosity, and we'll find out what that is in a second. I think it's to do with your person, because I'm like, where are the instruments pointing to? Well, the Wands is pointing up here to the King of Wands. Where is the Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck, by the way? Where is the Knight of Swords pointing to? Oh, I did have something jump here, but it's disappeared back in. It's fine. Where is the Son of Swords? Knight of Swords. Please, if you're ever making a deck, please keep the traditional names. Makes it easier when we're reading. Thank you. Hierophant. Justice. So the Knight of Swords. What I'm not seeing clearly here is where this Knight of Swords, or who this Knight of Swords needs to provide clarity to. But I can see that there with the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, it's the right thing to do. I mean, yeah, I'm just getting a nod. So it's the right thing to do. There is, there is a key here. And I'll come back to clarify that if I feel like I need to. I'm just going to park it there for a second. Because I want to talk about these cards here. So there's less of a feeling of the who and the where as much as there is the what. And it's like there is something here about perhaps what has not yet been said. And I feel like this is where this conflict is coming in. What is not being said, especially with justice here. That provides both justice, clarity, and truth. And then, we can't see these cards, I'm so apologise. Let's bring them up here. I'm busy pointing to them and my pointer is off screen. And then we have this Six of Wands on its side, and there's an opportunity here for pride in oneself. And it's present, but it's not realized. And I feel like there's a want for you to do this, to provide this justice, to provide this clarity, and to reinstall this sense of pride in yourself, or to reinvigorate, or to restore. I was like, why does reinstall sound so weird? Restore is the word I'm looking for. To restore this sense of pride. I think you're getting intuitive hits about it. And I think you might feel like in doing this, in actually allowing yourself the freedom to express whatever you need to express here. Because it's not telling me the what, it's just telling me what it's going to give you, or what you think it's going to give you. And with the Four of Cups here on its side, it's letting me know that it's going to help you move out of what looks like it's stalemate, This Four of Cups always reminds me of stalemate, and especially paired with this Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is a hella stalemate, but so is the Four of Cups. There's no wine going in or out. So, or no spirits going in or out, basically. So, yeah. I feel like you've got some inner conflict to resolve here. I think that's basically what is you're awakening to, is the need to resolve this inner conflict. Part of that conflict is on working out what it is you want here, because I don't think between the sun and the moon you can work out yet what's right for you. I think you're still in the process here of working out what it is you want. And in actual fact, an exercise comes to mind on how you can do that by literally drawing 7 cups. And in each of those cups, writing in what comes to mind. And I'm going to, this is not specifically the exercise, but I'm just going to work a little bit intuitively here to provide something that might help you, with your intuition, and also to allow yourself to prompt the responses from the recesses of your own mind. But what I'm seeing here is, if you allow yourself to just sit and freestyle what might be in each of those cups. So on a piece of paper, and you may end up with more than one thing in each cup, and that's fine. But the exercise really is to determine for yourself what exists within the cups, and then working out for you which cups you want and which cups you don't. I think that will help you. I can't give you the end of the exercise because transmission ends, basically. I think that's going to help you and, develop that exercise. What I mean by that is just start with that and then see where it takes you, is what I mean. So, yeah, there's inner conflict here. That's what you're awakening to. And by working through this process, and I think that is the guidance here, because I think that's where you're stuck in being able to, or what's going to help you integrate this inner conflict and process what needs to be processed, perhaps say what needs to be said, or become resolved with it within yourself. Looking at the Page of Wands, as I said here, there's a want to explore where your person is concerned. There is curiosity here where your person is concerned, and I want to know more, or to, there's the consideration of an adventure here. But I feel like before you can really consider this, it's dealing with this energy here, resolving that inner conflict. So that's what I see in terms of what is awakening for you. Cool, I'm just going to move these down here because they don't need to be up here. I might need the space. Now, in terms of how this connection is shifting or evolving, this is pretty straightforward, I would think, with the Wheel of Fortune and the Hierophant. Often when I'm reading now, and the Wheel of Fortune comes up, not all the time, but often, for me, there's a representation of timelines, 10, well, the card, the Wheel of Fortune is 10, and when this AI image was generated, this is my deck, it did bring the 10 in here. And no matter what way you go, it's still going to lead you, the road is still going to lead you home. However, the journey may represent itself a little differently depending on which way you spin it, or where you choose to adjust yourself within the wheel. And I think that's key here. I'm big on timeline adjustment. You can't change the past. But when you see the course that you're on, if you don't like where it's leading you, it's not hard to adjust yourself within the wheel. So that if you find yourself coming like down to the bottom and you don't want to be there, you can make your way back to the top, or to a place on the wheel that you want to sit. That is a reality creation process. Is it 1.0? It's adjust your perception. Make your choice. Take aligned action. And that is how you make the most of each moment that you're in. And that way, embracing destiny becomes a thing of beauty. Enough said. I think point made there. Now the Hierophant. I'll come back and maybe do a summary on what this means to you precisely, if I don't feel like I've covered it already. With the Hierophant, this one's come up upright. It's going by the book, embracing some aspect of tradition here. Now, whether we're talking about the way in which you or your person are conducting themselves energetically within this connection, whether it's about making an effort towards commitment in a physical sense, because like at the moment, given the intention with which I've started this reading, you might be in no contact. I mean, you might be in contact, but you also might not be in contact, in which case a lot of the work that you're doing may be being done energetically. So, whether it's energetically or physically, there is a suggestion here that it is doing things by the book. Albeit with a little bit of rebellion. This is no ordinary Hierophant. He has aviators on. So he's actually, he's not reading the book through the sunglasses, obviously. He's reading it through his third eye, I would say. Which leads him into High Priestess territory as well. So, I think it's probably worth summarizing here. And what I'd say as a summary is that the way that your connection is shifting or evolving is that you are learning how to use time lines, how to create what it is you want. And it's so interesting because as I'm talking about this, like I'm seeing in my mind's eye all of the timelines. Every choice you make creates a new timeline. Which can split out into any number of directions. And where you go to next within those directions depends on your next choice. And if your thoughts are in this realm here of the Hierophant, where they're upstanding, leaning into inner knowing, definitely connected with spirit, connected with your higher self, you're always going to then be choosing the higher ground. You're going to be choosing the highest timeline for yourself. And that is how this connection is shifting or evolving. There's a good chance you are both doing this. And if you're not, you will soon be doing this as a choice. You know, it's easy to sit into a space of worry or concern when something is not in front of you and you can't validate what it is you're experiencing in your inner knowing. And that is where trust comes in. That's where trust comes in. And the more that you lean into your inner truth, the more you're actually able to honor it. But it takes time to develop, I guess it's like a muscle, right? It's like any other muscle. The more that you do it, the more that you find that it's easy to do. That said, where you're concerned, this inner conflict is needing to be dealt with, and it will interfere for you with this process. Okay? So, it's just something to be integrated here. And once you integrate it, it's going to be probably, these two aren't going to be sort of clashing with each other in terms of taking your time and energy. But this is well worth your energy, because it's always going to be for you, course correcting you and your person. Okay, message from the shared field or higher self. Wise one. Perfect. Grow within your current situation. This is talking to, it's quite simple. It's talking to the fact that your connection is very much in this energy of developing wisdom. And developing wisdom and it's funny because I'm going to say for no other reason than developing wisdom. I mean, there might be a greater purpose here. I'm going to actually read this card because there might be a greater purpose for growing in wisdom. But that is what your higher self is pointing to about your connection. Whether anything develops here anytime soon is not necessarily able to be observed by me in this moment. Oh, what am I shuffling? Oh, I am shuffling, so now I'm going to take these. I just kind of got carried away. I picked up the deck and I meant to pick up the book. And perhaps that's because we are meant to focus in on specifically what we see here as being most helpful for you to know in this moment. Because there's a lot that's being developed here spiritually. like spiritual strength. Self-develop that strengthens spiritual knowledge or wisdom. Probably wisdom is the right word. Anyway, let's read this wise one. Oh, straight to the page. Grow within your current situation. Knuckle down. Be reliable and committed. See, we're talking about the Hierophant here. Be open to wisdom and insights from your elders. The wise one represents the highest. Actually, it doesn't say highest at all. It says the wisest. The wise one represents the wisest aspect of the goddess, the crone. In paganism and modern Wicca, the crone is the fiercest, most psychic, and most aware of the goddess. Hang on, let me read this again. In paganism and modern Wicca, the crone is the fiercest, most psychic, and most aware aspect of the goddess because she has been through many of life's challenges and overcome many setbacks. On this card, the raven in her hands represents the capacity to overcome the darker times and be reborn again and again. So she helps you to tap into wisdom to overcome whatever life throws at you. Wisdom being the information stored in your soul, rather than the knowledge acquired in this lifetime. So I'm going to say that again. So that I can absorb this as well. So, on the card, the raven in her hands represents the capacity to overcome the darker times and be reborn again and again. And I don't necessarily mean over lifetimes, but I mean, yeah, obviously that's what it's being pointed to. But I'm also talking about in this life. You know, you can go through death and rebirth every other day. You know, like I think it does get easier as time goes on because you learn how to grow and adapt and grow and adapt. And so it becomes your resistance to growth starts to shift, where you start enjoying the periods of growth, and especially if you have a running mate. So she helps you to tap into wisdom to overcome whatever life throws at you, wisdom being the information stored in your soul rather than the knowledge acquired in this lifetime. So, yeah, it is very much, you know, and that is what is in the field between you at the moment. You will be doing, and look, we're in the intuition series for this channel. And so, whatever time and place you find this reading at, this will be relevant to you. You will be in a period of developing your intuition, and your connection at this point in time is helping you. I said intuition, but also your psychic abilities. Helping you access those so that you can access this inner wisdom that has been gained both over, well, you know, it's funny because I said I talked about this lifetime, and I think that's still true. But also your collective cycles. However you choose to see this, like over lifetimes, I'm also seeing collective wisdom here. And it's funny because as I'm saying it, I'm checking You know, I'm fact-checking in my own mind. I'm like, what does that even look like? To be able to, to be able to access and or experience collective wisdom. What is it to walk a mile in another man's shoes when you're not actually walking a mile in another man's shoes? I have empathy, but I have no idea what that looks like, and so maybe that is a gift for somebody who's for you. Maybe that's your gift. Maybe that's your gift. So anyway, I think that's enough said there. I'm going to move on in this book. Oh yeah, so here it goes on to say, so it says, so she helps you to tap into the wisdom to overcome whatever life throws at you, wisdom being the information stored in the soul rather than the knowledge acquired in this lifetime, and to learn from the experience of your elders. So yeah, collective wisdom. Okay, like inherited wisdom. Extended message. The wisdom of the wise one is based on something that the younger generation is often lacking: commitment and reliability. So we're coming back to this Hierophant here. When this card appears, you're being guided to continue working on your growth and expansion within your current situation. Be committed to your tasks and projects. It can be very easy to get bored or overwhelmed, but persevere. You're being reminded of how it feels to be let down and experience unreliability. And that is not who you were born to be. So keep working on what you're working on, because it's going to be extremely beneficial for you in the long run. So, you know, within your connection, you and your person might be both experiencing, whether through each other or whether through other people, being pressed. There might be a feeling of not being able to rely on your person. That might be creating some of this conflict for you, by the way. But, you know, it's helping you to grow in wisdom. And that is the point here. The Nine of Cups in the portal this connection is opening with you. Satisfaction, like inner satisfaction. And, you know, it's not a prediction. It is an invitation to you to, you know, to allow that opening. Allow yourself to sit into the satisfaction that comes from knowing that you're allowed to. You're allowed to embrace the feeling of funny as that was out of my mouth. I had a flat line and I'm like, the feeling of what? We're talking about the Nine of Cups. I mean, I often call it the Nine of Moons because it comes with caveats. Like it's, yay, we got our wish. What was our wish? Because we're in the energy of the moon. We've got all of these cups of wine. It's a lot of wine to drink all by ourselves. Is that cool? I don't know, is it? So, yeah, it's a step. I'm going to clarify this actually. I want to clarify this. I'm going to clear this up now. I think we got this, right? Do we get this, or shall I? No, I'm going to pull a different deck. Leave those on the table. I'm just going to go to tarot down the bottom here. Where's the tarot at? Come on. Where have I got that other deck? Nope. I'm looking for the Raphael. Gosh, I have no space. Can we clarify the Nine of Cups? I get a pretty neutral energy from this, to be fair. I don't get moon energy. I get neutral energy. I think that, there's a toast here. It's like it's being made to someone else across the room. There are other Nine of Cups where it's less of an energy of toasting, where there's another person present, as much as toasting to oneself. But then it's like, typically the feeling would be, well, this is cool. Is it cool? I don't know. Did so many glasses of wine, but who's drinking them with me? And this is generally preceding the Ten of Cups. Well, it's not generally. It literally is. So, yeah, there's, I think, a realization here. It's like, we got our 9 cups, but we're on our own. I think I want some family members around with to actually celebrate with. And then comes the 10 of Cups. So, I get that. This is a neutral feeling. This is not like a feeling of like, oh, damn, I'm on my own. It's more like, yay, I got here. I was able to process the fruit that grew on the trees, and now I can appreciate this fruit in a form that makes me feel even better than I felt before after mastering my craft. And the Eight of... Oh no, it's not. That's the Eight of Pentacles. What is the Eight of Cups? Oh, right, that's the return. Okay, so yeah, that's the return. Right, got it. So in the Eight of Cups, went off to... But it is funny, because I did see the Eight of Pentacles pop up. So yeah, we'll take it as relevant. But, the Eight of Cups. You've gone off soul searching. And I guess this is probably what that would be if we were referencing the Eight of Cups, which we are, after the return from discovering whatever needed to be discovered, is this portal that this connection is opening up within you. Ah, beautiful. And with it, this Page of Cups, which is beautiful energy. It's where you're able to follow your heart. And of just having some dialogue come through from guides. I think this reading might be just about done. And strength. Awesome. This is the portal that's opening to you. It is one that is celebratory in nature. One that is appreciative of where you've come from. Keeping in mind both the eights, the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. Whatever the soul searching has been here, the integrating that has been done, or that you're doing at the moment, and the pause and reflection. And appreciation. And with that comes this beautiful energy, the Page of Cups, of being receptive to what life has to bring. The Page of Cups generally talks about following your heart. And it is true that this page has its cup up to the sky. Fill this cup for me, Spirit, and let it guide the way. Well, that cup is representative of that page's heart. And so there is a greater trust in Spirit here. There's devotion here. Like, if you know, when you're looking at devotion within a connection, if you're looking at a spiritual connection, a physical one that is spiritual, when you're devoted, right, you understand that your devotion is with Spirit, and that devotion that extends to your person is one that you protect because, or that you probably would protect because it helps you to connect more deeply and directly with Spirit. Because you're not connecting through them, you're connecting directly from yourself, right? And this is what this is showing me. So when you're looking at devotion, I think if you can hold that idea in your mind, it helps for you to guard against projection or illusion. Because you understand what's at the heart of your devotion and why you would protect this. You know, we have the woman here who is at one with the lion. I'm also just seeing the bird up here. And this is strength, by the way, just in case we don't know. And it does talk with this combination. I mean, the strength card talks about courage and resilience and strength with compassion and softness and gentleness. It's like taming the beast within and leading from the heart. Both of these cards. So, and on the bottom of the deck, the Nine of Cups. Oh, that's awesome. There's I just noticed these letters, PRB, which may or may not mean something to you. But yeah. This portal connection is opening within you, this capacity to enjoy where you're at and how far you've come and how you've stepped into your heart space. That is amazing. I love that for you. Group number 1. I love that for you. I'm just being drawn back to this primal energy, by the way. I had a question pop up in my mind. So what does primal energy have to do with this strength and this soft strength? I'm being shown the lion again. Right. And see, this is funny because this relates to your person. And I wonder why. because it's relating to your person, this primal energy, perhaps there might be some mirroring back to you. Perhaps, even though you're going through this, you might also relate to this journey. That's one light bulb that has popped up, but the other one, actually, I'm just being shown, also being pointed back over here with the birds, because I was like, what's significant of the bird here? And it's pointing to this. These birds are in here, the raven and the owl. It's that primal or ancient energy. There's something about it that is actually being fed into the field between you two. Maybe that's why collective. I think between you and your person, there might be the capacity to learn from each other energetically. You know, I mentioned collective, right? I mentioned collective wisdom. And there's a definite link here for me between these three. Once you've started to integrate whatever this is and done whatever it is you need to do here to step out of inner conflict, I think you're going to find that it's going to be a lot easier to access this wisdom between the shared field, or from within the shared field, because your person is clearly using ancient knowledge, which I have every reason to believe you can access as well, because it is a shared field. Okay? It is a shared field. But yes, softening of the heart. And leaning into a very gentle space here. Now I'm going to see, before I close out this reading and go to the charms, I'm just going to see what came up here. I'm not going to read these on the back because I think time now, oh my gosh, your reading's been long. Yeah, we will wrap this up. So I will put these out. Higher perspective here, definitely Hierophant energy is just more confirmation of and with the oracle, of using the bridge that goes from earth to heaven and seeing things from that perspective, from your higher self perspective, allowing yourself to lean into that. As I said, this integration is probably going to be important for you. The oracle, wait for important information. I think this is speaking to the field that I talked about. I mean, you know, it's not just the field between probably you and your person, but the general collective field and your own knowing. It's just that this ancient knowledge here is going to be easy, I think, to access through your person. Just because I don't see that song Tusk that I mentioned in the pre-shuffle or in the pre-read shuffle. I don't see that necessarily represented over your side, but I see it represented in your person's. So whether it's through your person or the general collective, and as I'm sitting here now, I'm going, oh God, I know how that knowing works now. I do it. Of course I do it. What am I talking about? Sometimes I just don't even know my own ability. Okay, so cool. That's that. I'm going to pull charms. I think we're going to get into it because like time is like, whoa, this is a whole reading all by itself. I mean, it's a whole pick a card. Okay, let's see what we have for you. Group number 1. This is going to be the power read when it comes to charms. We have a lot of stamps. I'm going to pull these stamps out first. Oh my golly gosh. My golly gosh. Let's just get these out of the road. I'm going to tell you what's in them. Okay, first let me just pull the stamps to the side. In fact, I'm going to clear some space here. I don't think... Should we just pull this over here? You know, normally I'd help you integrate this, but I know this is work for you to do, group number 1. I would normally integrate it for you and give you what it looks like on the other side. But yeah, the 7 of Cups exercise. Let's put this over here. Okay, so what are we starting with first? We're going to go with the charms. We have a zebra. Okay, so from the start of the read, if you held something in your mind, this is where we're stepping into both the charms aspect, which actually, that's what I need to do. I need to see where some of these things are to see whether they relate to what's here before I actually go and move them all off. But yeah, this should help you to realize that your intuition is actually on point. It's amazing how this does work. Okay, so let me just pull this over. We've got a tortoise or a turtle. I'm not sure which one it is. We have the... Oh my gosh, isn't this awesome? We have this angel. It's like a cherub. And it's right on top of the Hierophant. Right, and it's right on top of, between the Hierophant and the eagle. Higher perspective, your higher self, or your guys' higher selves, if you're not feeling connected with them and you're not seeing that higher perspective already, it is definitely evolving. Okay, we have, I think this is Gemini. Is this Gemini or Aquarius? Right, well, I've said both, take both. I see Sagittarius here. Well, actually, you know, it's so funny because I'm like, it looks like Gemini. No, it looks like the twins, but actually it's got the star there, which is Aquarius. And Aquarius and Sagittarius right on top of the Hierophant. It's like higher knowledge meets cosmic mind. Like the search for higher knowledge meets cosmic mind. That's what I'm seeing here on the Hierophant. Meets God force, or... So, hang on, let me just say this again because it's pretty cool. No, it's gone. Okay, let's leave it. I'm being told to move on. So we have Maid of Honor here. Is it Maid of Honor? Yeah, Maid of Honor. No, I think the Maid of Honor is the one who's beside the bride, right? Okay. We have a marble here. We have the word like, the word idea. And there's a whole lot of other words here. So you might have had a word pop into your mind. I'm going to go through those in a second. I want to read what's on these stamps. We have butterfly and I think this might be Norwegian, maybe. And some plants that look like plants used to heal, actually. I don't know what the type of plant is. But it looks like something that would be used to heal a cough or a cold. No, and I could even be mint as well. So now in this stamp we have a couple of trees in what looks like a sort of, it's not a marsh, but my first thought was this is a marsh, and then it's like, looks more like a creek or a brook. Clouds in the background. Do noble things, not dream them, is what it says on here. Dorothy, Paul, Elsie Wormser. Okay, I'm just going to hold this up so we can see it, because it's going to be less easy to see than the butterfly. This one here is a coat of arms, and it has got 3 dragons on it, and a hand being held up the top with a crown in it, and it's also got a suit of armour, just the headpiece, and it says on it, of Auschwitz, might be German. There's some Latin written on here as well. Just going to put that there so we can see. Cool. Oh my gosh. This is going to be one long reading. Wow, group number 1. We have a man in a library. He is sipping a martini by the looks of things. Either that or an ice cream with a straw out the top. And make of that what you will. There are 2 coats of armour. 2 coats of 2. What are these things called? Shield. Coat of arms. There are 2 coat of arms above him. 3 actually. One with a castle on it. One that has a dragon bird and something else on the other side. I can't quite see what that is. And it looks also like European. And there's a big, huge coat of arms with a lot of what looks to me like occult symbolism. Okay, put that over here. Oh, let me hold that up for you. It's a bit hard to see that, I would say, but yeah. Next one is a castle. Oh, this one's nice and simple, with turrets, and it looks like it might be Belgian. This one here is a couple of ducks in the water. 230. Okay, I'm going to put that down there. Oh, we have a man. It's not a stamp, but is a man with a beard, some glasses, and a moustache. This one here is 30, and it Bahai, Dubin. I'm not sure. That does not say Bahai, but I don't know what it says. It says it might be Russian, actually. It's Russian or Belgian or somewhere in Europe. I'm so sorry if I'm botching this. And these people are holding up flags. There is a man and a woman. And this stamp here, there is... Oh, this is Greece or Rome. This is Greece or Rome. I'm not sure. On one side, it looks Greek, and then on the other, it looks Rome. The architecture looks Grecian. Is that the word, Grecian? One person in here has what looks like a Roman helmet on it, and they're holding the sword. And the other one is wearing an apron. There are dogs on the coat of armour. Okay, cool. And that's that one. Angels in there as well. A few other things, but those are the ones that stand out. Have a boar on this one. A boar, and there looks like a hat there. So I'm just going to hold these both up so you can see them. These are the ones I just read. Okay, cool. Last 2 stamps. We have a elephants. Oh wow, there's a lot of symbolism in here, but a lot of elephants and a man who, such a strange expression. What is what is when a priest has a staff and it has the thing on top of it, like a wand, and it's scepter. Okay, I see a scepter here. And holding up the scepter is a really strange animal that I've never seen before. That looks a little like a... No, I can't even tell you what it looks like. It is an amalgamation of animals. Okay, that's it. That's all I see here. Okay. Last stamp is a man reading a book. James Burton Reynolds owned this book. Awesome. And it looks like a pilgrim. He's got some pilgrim shoes circa Salem witch trials era, and with a buckle on them, you know. And he's in front of a hearth where there is some fire poking tools. I forget what they're called. But yes, he's right here. Can you see this? Okay. England. Okay, that's it. Now let's just race through the rest of these. Like I said, most of them are words now. I'm going to read this. So some of this is going to relate to your person and messages for from your person. Some of this is going to be a higher self, and some of this is going to be words that are either related to your connection or that are provided as part of the intuitive series, where it's like, there's a word. I know this works because in one of the previous ones I was like, I'm going to try this, and I did, and I got blown away because it was something that I would have never have expected. Okay, anyway, so I'm grateful for you. Okay, your person is grateful for you. That's from your person. I am committed to us and our future. There's the Hierophant energy, and that's your person. You've opened my mind. That is your person. I love your style. That is your person. You blow my mind. A lot here about mind. That is your person. I like what you have to say. That is from your person. Addictions are taking my mind off this. Take that with a grain of salt. And I'm going to say that because one of the things that I've realized is that addictions can come in many forms. So, yeah, like numbing out can come in many forms. It can come in putting on Netflix and not getting off. It could come in scrolling on TikTok and not coming off. So, I think that's why I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt. I don't doubt that your person, especially if that king is on its side, is potentially at times, or has been potentially at times. I say has been because this energy here that's being moved into takes a lot of dedication and focus. So, yeah. Anyway, enough said. I'm being told to move on, so I'm moving on. I want you. We're definitely getting some of that King of Wands energy there, for sure. Okay, so we have some messages here. I'm just looking at them going, okay, we're going to qualify some of these. I'm going to chuck some of these out. Okay, so let me put those there. So, group number 1. Okay, we have a speed bump. Right, there might be a speed bump where commitment is concerned. That is something that you guys are going to have to probably navigate over time. I don't think it's a focus at the moment. And it also could be speaking to past energy here. Actually, yeah, I'm just getting a yes on that. Now, these are some of the words that might have come through. Because I said there were lots of words, but actually there are 3 words. One of them is strong. And you might have heard one of these phrases too, by the way. Like you might have, yeah. So I'll leave that with you. One of them is wealthy. One of them is physical. Could also describe the attributes of your person. So these are some of the messages that have come, just popped in here. This has success story written all over it. I don't think you can miss at the stage that we're working with at the moment. Just follow the path. Do the integration. If it is required, yeah, absolutely, we know that. And life partner incoming. Like it's not set in stone. Like everything set in the future is dependent on choices, which is pointed out here. And life partner incoming could definitely be talking about your person. But that has to be a choice between the two of you. Right? Just need to make that clear. And then we've got here, someone here is pretending to care, and someone here has no intentions of committing. And I want to address that. So, your person, right? And when I read this, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, oh, I get it. Right? I get it. When you're in these kinds of spaces where you're reliant on trusting your inner knowing, it can be very easy to let these voices of fear, doubt, and worry interfere with your assumptions. It can be very easy for you to let voices from your past, stuff that you haven't integrated, patterns that might still be running in the background, programs that haven't been shut down yet, closed out. Those all might be running in the background, and when they are, it's very easy for those voices to have some way in. And as you go further down this path, you're going to do more integrating, which is going to deal to some of this, right? Because quite clearly here, we see a dedication, and it doesn't necessarily mean a physical commitment. Like I said, these are choices that would get made between two people. Okay, a commitment in the physical is not like a one-sided thing. I mean, if you want to have a committed relationship rather than you being committed on your own or your person being committed on their own. So yeah, but I mean, there's a commitment to God, right? There's a commitment to spirit. There's a commitment to your highest timeline, and there's devotion to that. So, trust in that process. There's another thingamabobby here. I will always be honest with you. I will always be honest with you. Now, that's really awesome. So that's from your person. I suspect that there's mirror energy going on here, probably what you'd say to your person as well. So that's what I see in what's here. Oh, there's one other thing, the letter T here. Get more sleep. I'm going to take that one on board. Then we've got the letter A. I'm just going to take some of these now. The letter A, the letter T, the letter H. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Okay, cool. And the letter E, the letter F, and 2 Ds. This one here, you can take it as a W or an M. And I think that's everything. I think we're done. Is there anything else? Can we close this up? There's one other thing. We have a ship. No, it's not a ship actually. It's a yacht. And it was over here. So, yeah. If you were waiting to hear the word boat or yacht or ship, you just got it. And it is smooth sailing. Smooth sailing here. In this area where you're stepping into. Let me just use the Just use the feather fan. In this area where you are following your heart and embodying this soft, compassionate strength. Alright, group 1, that is your reading. Oh my gosh, it's been like almost an hour and a half. Are you still here, group 1? That's a good reading. Hopefully that's provided you with clarity and being seen, being seen on this journey and being sat with. Because I have no doubt that at times it would be a little lonely, maybe. But yeah, know that you are seen, know that you are appreciated, and, go well on your journey. Go well on your journey. Alright? I, for one, appreciate your dedication to your devotion. Just to wrap up your reading, when it comes to the collective consciousness and the knowledge that we are one, the work that we do on ourselves as a collective, to become more aligned with our highest timeline, with our God self or God force, with God, with our divine blueprint. The more that we do that with ourselves, the more it seeds within the greater collective, the easier it is for others. When you're cutting tracks, the people that come behind you have an easier time with the road. So, well done. And congratulations, and keep going. Alright, group 1, we'll see you in the next read. Alright, bye for now. Group 2, we're going to do the pre-read shuffle for your group. The theme for you is what is awakening within the connection. And I do encourage you to go back to the start and have a listen to the intro, where I do talk about what this reading is in relation to. The questions that we will cover in this reading are: where is your person at right now? Actually, let's just stop for a second. No, we'll do that. We'll do that in the actual read. So the questions are: where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? And I'm going to actually, I'm going to talk through the questions as I'm pulling. I'm coming back into the reading in the morning, and so I'm going to slowly reacquaint myself with the energy of the read. And what is awakening within your person? Ah, okay. There we go. Alright, now let's look at you. This deck? Yeah. What is awakening within your person? No, we've done that. What is awakening within you? Come on. What is awakening within you? How is this conscious? I just read. Okay. let us just slow ourselves down a little. How is this connection shifting or evolving? Okay, we want a different deck. Which deck? Yes or no? No? Life is a game? Yeah? How is this connection shifting or evolving? Let's tidy up our screen, shall we? Okay. Take those three. Yeah, all three? Alright. Message from the shared field or higher self. Which deck? Any of these? Message from the shared field. Okay, this is where we want to bring in the light seers. Message from the shared field or the higher self. And last deck is, are we going to go with this one again? Yes? Alright. Interesting. Messages from the shared. No, that's what we've done. This portal. Hang on. This is going to be interesting. The portal, this connection is opening up within you. What I might do once I've finished here is I might just go and do a quick meditation. I did just do a prayer before I started the reads. But I might need to do a quick meditation just to become fully present. And if you're here now, I recommend you do the same, just in case this is a joint energy field being shared between you and I. This one as well, yes or no? The portal, this connection is opening within you. Nice. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. Let me just see what's on the bottom of these decks. So we've got, place these out here. Okay, let's pause. Actually, let's just tidy this up before we... Oh, look at that. Amazing. On the bottom of two decks, Six of Cups. Okay. Life is a game of tarot. My name is Mariah. Welcome to your reading group number 2. The pre-shuffle or pre-read shuffle is just literally a shuffle. Feel free to go back and watch it, but there's not a lot of information about the reading in that shuffle. The only comment I would make is that energetically there was a need to go and take time to become present. That was even after I'd started the session with a prayer, which isn't recorded. But yeah, that would be the only thing I would say that might be helpful to you that is in that shuffle. Now, what I did do when I went to sit and do a meditation was allowed myself to see if there was anything to precede this read, and there was. I'll tell you what I saw. So in the meditation, when I allowed myself to drop into a, I guess, clairvoyant state, was I started in a body of water, really. It was like ocean, which for me is the field of emotion and emotional depth. Now what I did was I went down to the bottom and I picked a flower from the bottom, and then I came back up to the surface, and as I was coming back up to the surface, I felt like I needed to gasp for air. And there was something else that happened at the end of that. I think I might have dived back in. I can't remember. It might not be so important, but I do know that what I saw with the picking of the flower and coming back up to the surface is relevant. And it's got to do with emotion and emotional depth. Now, this might be in regards to you or your person. Let me just adjust the exposure on the fly. It might be in regards to you or your person. And so the message here is about trusting in the journey to discover the depths of your emotion, or your person is on that journey. That it's okay to experience emotional depth. See, what I got was that in exploring the depth of emotion, you will find reward there. And that was where the flower was represented. And, you know, the flower is obviously what you're going to be discovering within. That actually what you might have thought was dark and maybe not something to be appreciated in the depth of your emotion actually is a field of flowers and something that you will appreciate. And the gasping for air, when I came back up, it was like, hang on, why am I gasping for air? I was able to breathe right at the bottom. It's actually safe. So you might have a feeling of being unsafe within the depths of your emotions. The message here is that it is safe. Okay, so that's what I saw. And the other thing that came through right before your reading was the song Too Easy from Connor Price. When I asked, you know, what do I hear, what do I see? So what I saw is what I told you. What I heard was the song Too Easy from Connor Price, and I'm just going to read you a couple of lines here. I think this has got to do with your emotions, by the way, but you know, it's like it's a mindset that you can adopt is too easy. I think that's the relevance of the song. because I'm looking at the other lyrics here and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not so relevant. Well, it might actually be relevant in relation to your read. We'll see. If I feel like I've got to come back and read the lyrics of the song, I will, but maybe just take it on board for yourself. It's Too Easy from Connor Price. I don't know if I ran that together too fast, but Connor Price. And here it is, the part that's probably relevant to the emotions. Word on the street, I make it look easy. I'm actually smooth, it's far too easy. Easy, 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 too easy. Okay? So once you actually, if this is, whether this is you or your person, once you hit that spot, you'll wonder why it took you so long to get there. Something along those lines. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the reading. So, we have some questions here that we're answering in this reading, and the first one is, where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? We have that question, or an answer, represented by the devil, or Pan, the horned one, and clarified by the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Might be a little bit of clarified by, I was going to say might be a little bit of resistance here. Clarified by the Four of Cups and Justice. This is what your person is processing. They're processing shadow. And, when we're talking about your person here, obviously, but, there's a lot of mirror imaging or a lot of mirroring that's often going on in these connections and the level at which they're operating at. Because we're talking about refinement and spiritual refinement, especially within these sets of readings, which are probably going to be under the playlist Eye of the Needle, because they are very much about spiritual refinement. So, your person is likely processing shadow qualities, and especially shadow qualities that are related to areas of attachment, addiction, possession, or obsession, actually, is the word I was reaching for. And the resistance there to actively working on it, that's represented there for me with the Eight of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. But that resistance is being moderated by this justice and the inner sense or need or want to integrate this. So while there might be some reticence or some resistance here, it is still sitting there as, if not work in progress, as an active calling. Those moments where if you don't listen to your higher self keeps showing you all the ways in which not working on this is affecting your life. And so, your person is in the process of integrating and is in and out of actively doing this, but where they're not actively doing this, they're being reminded why they do need to do this. Okay, cool. Got it. So what is awakening within your person? What is awakening within your person? We have the Fool and Justice. Lady of the Lake. Right, yeah. So, of course, we've seen this over here. So basically we just continue. So what I was talking about with justice and being able to recognize one's own capacity to self-check, self-regulate when it comes to one's own development and integration process. If that makes sense. And yeah, it is awakening. I mean, it's a process that's happening, but there is a moment where you become conscious of that being a thing, where you suddenly go, hey, wait a minute. Like, you know, in algebra, just seeing algebra and how you've got to work out what X is or what Y is. It's like there's this process now of your person working out what the X and the Y is. That's how algebra goes, isn't it? I don't know, I just saw algebra in my mind's eye. So yeah, that's what your person is becoming conscious of, and that's awakening within them, is their capacity to see what needs to be seen in relation to their own journey and their process of integration and how it works best for them. The Fool, what's also awakening within them is the capacity to create a new, I was going to say timeline, and then for some reason I stopped myself and I'm like, why? I don't think it's so much a new timeline as much as a fresh start within a timeline that is probably already present and strong, but recognizing the ability to do this, especially because when we're sitting into the likes of justice and awakening to our capacity there, then we're able to go, hey, right, here's where we have been, but we don't need to stay here. We can integrate this. We can integrate our shadow qualities. And because, you know, like in reality, all parts of self are valid and provide the richness and fullness of life. Even the devil. But you don't want the devil ruling your life, right? And so you can always opt, once you've integrated whatever the shadow qualities are, recognizing that these are valid parts of yourself and that they're okay. That then you can go, okay, sweet. This is an aspect of self. I acknowledge it. I see the pattern here, and it's the pattern that you want to identify. I know I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking in general about your person. Though, if there is a mirror, you know, if you are mirroring this as well, this may be why I'm feeling the want to talk about it. Because in your case, it might not be the devil, it might be something else, but it will be the same. And that in knowing that it's okay. I think because there can be a bit of shame attached to some of these things. I know personally there's a couple of cards when I see in my readings, I'm like, Are we here again? But we don't need to be ruled by these shadow attributes. When we integrate them, we can recognize that, yes, we have the capacity to be like this, and then we can choose when we want to be like this. This guy here is great in the bedroom. Perhaps in measured doses. Can be really helpful when you are wanting to, have a little bit of, be a little bit tenacious about a project that you're working on. But you don't want him running the show. You know what I mean? So these are the ways that we integrate these aspects of self. We recognize that there is a place for all parts of ourselves, and choosing where we choose to want to express these aspects of self. So, yeah, that's what I see here, is that the timeline is, looking so far for your person intact. But it's like, right, I can start again over here. Here's the new starting position. It's like a checkpoint. That's probably the best way to explain it. Like if we're playing a game, it's a checkpoint. Okay, cool. So what is awakening within you? Ten of Pentacles. Awesome. So within you, you are, what do we see here? This 10. There's something here about, you're awakening to what it is you're doing here in regards to legacy. But I'm being shown, my attention is on this dog in the background and this child. My attention was first taken by this child with the dog, and then I was being directed to this gentleman pointing to the dog. And so let's investigate a little more. What about the Ten of Pentacles? Can we clarify what is awakening within group number 2? The dog represents, obviously, this lightning, not the lightning itself, but the staff creating impact here. Yeah, and we've got more lightning here hitting the top of the tree. So what's awakening for you, group number 3, or within you? That this connection is basically activating in your soul path. I see it as like the honing of your focus. This might actually be your Can we clarify that? What area? What area? Are we talking about in the material world, or are we talking about in the psychic world or spiritual world? Which area? The 10 of Pentacles suggests material. And yet, and we've got lovers on the bottom of the deck now, and yet we've got the representation here of movement and air, movement and communication. And there's a lot of this here, a lot of movement and a lot of communication. And what's weird is this sort of Four of Swords, which is like, it's not generally a card of movement, it's one of stillness, and yet we have these swords like moving, and I don't usually read the Four of Swords this way, but it was like that they're moving down to the lamb. They're dropping down out of the sky, but the lamb is using meditation just to keep them levitated. It's something like that. And then we have again this stillness with the Mother of Wands, who's actually a very active character, but still here. And then we have this active, oh my gosh, what is going on with my screen? Okay, it's cool. And then we have this active Son of Swords, or Knight of Swords. So I think what it's showing me is like I see what it's showing me. It's showing me the cause and effect. Like cause and effect. But it's not just about cause and effect. It's about two different forces meeting each other. So we have this line of energy working in unison with the stillness. Now it's like an alchemical process where one force is interacting with another. This is what your person is working on. This is what is awakening within you. What I would like to know is how to explain this better, or put it in a way that makes sense to me. So, because I can see what it looks like in visuals, what does this mean in practical terms? Can I get some information on that, please? Can that come through? I'll park it and I'll come back to it. Because I feel like this is a method of working with energy and it's working with energy, it's working with inspiration, it's working also with communication, and it is in the area of creating legacy. Alright, that's what I'm being shown right now. I will see as we get further on whether it's an area that I can come back to and provide more clarity on. Number 4, how is this connection shifting or evolving? Okay. Now these would have all come out in reverse, so I'm going to read them that way. Because I don't think you're evolving into attachment or obsession. I think that the evolution is in liberation from anything that isn't aligned with a greater state of presence. So you can be present within a relationship without needing to control it, own it, possess it. And that is what I'm seeing as a next state of evolution for you, or what is starting to probably become present to you. And I'm not talking about detachment. I know that I've used the word attachment, but one of the things I think is still needing some adjustment when we're looking at spiritual terms, is these terms that hold us in a state of duality, suggesting that you can only be one or the other. And when you talk about detachment, it kind of is like talking about, or like saying, don't think about the elephant. So, yeah. Side note here. Liberation being worked on. It's not really a side note, it's actually the point of this card. So that is what you are, or how this connection is evolving, is a greater sense of sovereignty, a greater sense of liberation, and a greater sense of presence and ability to show up within this connection in a space of presence. I'm not seeing whether this connection is currently in contact or not contact. So, yeah, whether if you're not in contact, all of this is still happening. Okay? You would have either found this reading or being drawn to this reading because of the fact that it is a high level spiritual connection that may or may not be being expressed in the physical at this time. So, and on that basis, actually, I would encourage you to go back, if you haven't already listened to the start, the introduction, where I discuss that or talk about that. Well, discussion is a two-way street, but yeah, where I talk about the nature of this reading. So, continuing on, in terms of what is the evolution that is happening now, or starting to happen. I see things coming into balance here. I think that's pretty straightforward. And heart space opening up. Now, these things, because they were all in reverse, that's, I think, why, because I have in my mind asked why am I talking about this still coming into evolution. It's because they were all in reverse. So this is on the horizon, or starting to happen now, where you are perhaps being called to lean into your heart space and to follow your heart, basically, and to manage your own internal processes so that there is balance within. So that you're working out what is a priority in terms of, especially if you're not in connection, but even if you are, there's a lot of work that you'll be doing behind the scenes to stay in a place of harmonization, to stay in a space of balance, so that the way that you are showing up within the connection is in full presence. And as we can see here now, where it's a heart-spaced or heart-based presence. And contrast to that would be where you are showing up in a Queen of Swords energy, which is ready to perhaps attack and defend. Well, especially if she was in reverse. But, you know, that's a pretty extreme comparison or contrast. But just to give you an idea, okay, I think that's covered. We're going to move on to question number 5, message from the shared field or higher self. So these are new for me. Don't mind the fact that I am starting. I am doing my best to channel from a place of greater alignment. Let's just call it that. And it's requiring of me the ability to process in a way that I haven't done before. It might not be obvious to anybody else necessarily, but certainly I'm recognizing that process internally. So thank you for your patience. Now, the Six of Wands in reverse. This is the shared field between you two. And this line here specifically talks to what is absolutely mirrored here, and what wants to be known or what wants to be seen. And if you haven't already heard from your higher self about this, then consider yourself on notice. You don't have to do anything with this information, by the way, but you're being called to allow yourself to be seen, basically, both of you, to stand in your own power and to also congratulate yourself, right? But to allow yourself to be seen and appreciated. And because this is in reverse, I really don't think that either you're congratulating yourself enough for what you have been doing, or you're not allowing yourself to be seen as much as your higher self would like you to be. Take what resonates there. Three of Pentacles, the spirit of co-creation, and the spirit of co-creation with your person and spirit. Did I just say the spirit of co-creation with yourself, your person and spirit? Or, yeah, I might have said the spirit of co-creation with your person and spirit, but yeah, either or. It's like, oh, I did just say that. So, you and your person may not be as aware as your higher self would like you, or your higher selves would like you, about how much you are both creating here. You might feel like you're the only one, you see, that is creating to this shared field, and creating to, or co-creating to develop whatever it is ultimately that you are seeking to accomplish with this soul connection. And you're being asked to recognize here that you're both doing the work. Okay? You're both in it. You both agreed. It's right here. Like signed the dotted line. You can always unsign, by the way. You can always unsign. But, like I'm big on freedom and personal sovereignty. Big on it. And I'm not about unbreakable bonds. Because, yeah, anything else is a prison in my mind. So, yeah, you're in it together. You both agreed. They're doing the work. Even though, like, sometimes it might seem like they're not. They are. They still are. Now, moving across to this portal. The portal, this connection is opening within you. Okay. So we have death here, a transformation. You may not see this coming, actually. You may not see this coming because her face is hidden. Scythe is out, but face is hidden. So, like, this might come in and be done before you realize that, hey, something has closed, something has been done with, something has, I mean, just call it what it is, died. Something has gone. It has run its course, and now I can see the priest or the sermons giver reading the lines that commit it to the earth, right? And before the dirt goes on top of the coffin. But it's kind of like giving me that kind of vibe. It's like it's done. It's done. And that you won't see that it's already done. It'll just be done. And then you'll look back and you'll go, hey, this is done, dusted. Yay. And what emerges from there. And this could be, this could be whatever state this connection was in previously. It's done and dusted. That's the vibe I get here. But something is done and dusted. And then what we have emerging is this Two of Pentacles and Page of Cups. And this is really nice energy. Really nice. Especially when we're looking at the bottom of the deck. We have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups. And both of these are relating to current and evolving timelines. It's like getting back to kindred spirit here. With this Two of Pentacles. I mean, we're juggling here, but we're juggling with some fun. I mean, this dog is actually enjoying what it's doing. It's all dressed up, and it's nice little fluffy things. The fluffy things are actually its fur, to be fair. But, it's enjoying the limelight here. It's enjoying being in the show. It's enjoying being in the circus of life. And it's dressed up for it. And it's also able to prioritize and balance in order to make possible the impossible. And with the Page of Cups, it's a heart opening, heart expansion, following of the heart. Allowing spirit to pour in. And then knowing what to do with that cup. And I also see, and for my next act. And for my next act. And by the way, on this bottom of this deck we have the Lovers. Just going to bring this back into focus. Knight of Pentacles is general energy here of just steady as she goes. Things are moving steadily forward. Like I said, whether this connection is in the physical or whether it's purely in the spiritual or in the ethers and being worked in the energetic field. And the Two of Wands here is that there is forward focus, even if there's not fully forward momentum in a specific area. Trust that this momentum, whatever is taking place here, if not in the physical, is being planned ahead of execution. Yeah. I was a bit slow to deliver that line. As I said what I was saying, I landed here, the feather landed on death. I'm not sure if I did that intentionally or not. But anywho, moving right along here. There might be some sort of dark humour that you might have dark humour. Your person might have dark humour because I'm definitely getting those vibes. You know, there's a little bit of emo. Just touching the edges here between the devil and, you know, death on this side, and the want that I've had to lean into metaphors that are a little bit shadowy. Okay, so that's basically what I have for you in terms of reading. I think it's time for us to actually go into the charms. Now, oh my God, I forgot to do this at the start. I am hoping that you've watched the intro. Actually, it doesn't matter. We can do this now. I just want you to take a moment, if you haven't done this already, to visualize an object in your mind's eye. This can be an object that is a straight up object. It can be a word, and it can be something that you hear, that you see, that you feel, that you know, so that when I drop these charms out, you're able to test your intuition and see how well aligned in this moment you are with your intuition. Okay, so if you need to, pause the video, but I think I might have given you adequate space in the moments where I was calling out some of those things. But use your mind's eye the way that it works best for you. And yeah, like I said, pause the video because I'm about to draw these charms. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to call out what I see here. I'm probably going to mix this up actually, rather than doing all of the names of everything. I'm probably just going to read and catch the charms while I'm talking about them, so that, you know, you don't miss your object, obviously. Okay, we have, what is this here? What's this here? Is this a fairy? Oh, this is a fairy coming out on top of the Two of Pentacles. I'm reminded here of this Two of Pentacles here. It's like, don't forget to play. You know, don't forget to play a part as a part of this balancing. Don't forget to prioritize in a child enjoyment and satisfaction. You know, just playing for the sake of playing. Having fun for the sake of having fun. That should be part of your integration process. We have a kiwi here. It's probably, you might be one of my New Zealand crew. We have the letter L. Name. We have the name and Y. If it occurs to me to talk about it or expand on it because of a card it's on, I will. But if it doesn't, I will just read the name of what's on the charm. We have the tree of life here. Now this is sitting on justice. This is relevant. And I'm seeing this mirrored back up in here in this justice. And this might be, an energy that's being mirrored within the connection as well. One of working from integrity. And I have no doubt that you both are, given the level of attainment being sought here, this level of spiritual attainment. So either I'm pointing this out to congratulate you for checking, doing the checks and balances. Is this within integrity? Is what I'm doing in this space of either the physical or the material or in the realm of spirit? Well, all realms are realm of spirit. Within the field, the energetic field, is this and does this have integrity? Is there stuff I need to check here? Constantly asking those questions of yourself keeps you in the space of integrity and keeps that tree within strong and healthy. So we have, can we turn these over? The letter G. BFF. Oh yeah, it's over the top of the Fool. Awesome. It's like, I would say this person is either a best friend or has that energy, or you have that energy with each other. And it's over the top of the Fool, and this is one of the areas that you probably relate to. I'm guessing you relate to all areas, but it's over the top of the Fool, and the capacity to mess around. What is it? I fooled around and fell in love, something like that. But yeah, there's the capacity, the inner, it's an inner child connection here, especially represented here in the Six of Cups. We have Mac, but every time I see this, it makes me think of Maida. And there also could be a reference to truck driving here as well. But so one of you might actually be a driver or drive. But in the same realm as BFF, both Mac and Maida were good friends to, oh my gosh, lightning. But in different ways. Okay, so, I'm just going to say those qualities probably apply. We've got a button. It's like the button holds things together, and it's over the top of the Fool. I love this, and Sure is as well. And then we have here. It's just kind of hanging off the end. And we have Sagittarius here. And he's shooting for what? He's shooting at this Eight of Wands underneath here. Awesome. A lot of energy here. And what's awakening within you. I think that's what we're coming back to. See, all of this stuff has landed on this line here. What is awakening within you? It's like, there's a word and it starts with C. I mean, there's obviously this place where everything's getting stirred up, and there's a lot of energy sort of just flowing in to meet the stillness, but it sort of combusts and it creates another form altogether. I can't think what that word is. So hopefully it's forming in your own mind. So we've got P-U-G in terms of letters, L-I-H, topaz. We have, I think this is rock out. And it's over the Page of Cups. It's like, yeah, definitely rock out to that pull to follow your heart. We have a zebra. And, that's over the top of this Page of Cups. There's something about zebras and the way that they pack. They move in packs and they all blend in with one another. Why is that relevant? No. Don't know. Moving right along. I think that is a leopard. What does this say? Adventurer. I don't think leopards move in packs, but I'm not absolutely sure. The letter I, but also focus on your solar plexus chakra. The letter N. The letter K. You got a lot of letters. The letter Y. I'm going to read these messages in a second because you've got a few messages too. I think these will be a lot of higher self messages. There is a flamingo here in the moon. There is, I don't know what purple is, maybe amethyst. We've got a ballerina over the top of the tower. It's awesome. So when you get these moments where these lightning bolts come in, and those lightning bolts might clear everything, because it sets fire to stuff, it burns down, and then you're left with space in which to then create and process, or to create from. I think that's what this is talking to as well. It's like multi-dimensional, this message, or multi-layered rather. But certainly this ballerina over the top of the Tower card, which is represented by a big fir, probably a Douglas fir, that is being zapped by lightning and then breaking apart, setting on fire. It's like you will dance through this. I don't know if you've got any fear around change, because this is signifying a process. It's an inner alchemy. It's inner alchemy, but it's bringing about where one place meets another within. In this place of integration, it produces something else, another quality within you that that is going to help you dance through this process of creating this legacy, this 10 of Cups, let's include the 10 of Cups, this 10 of Pentacles legacy. Okay. Is anything written on this one? No, it's just a plain peg. Let's move the other peg. I'm going to get these stamps. So you have 3 stamps. Your stamps are Temper Hall. So, yeah, it's funny because why didn't I just get Temperance? It does suggest here for me, a temperance. It's alchemization. We've got, it says Ex Libris. I don't know where this place is. It looks like it could be old United States of America. It certainly looks like that kind of hall, like sort of from the era of maybe the 1920s, perhaps. I could be wrong. And again, I'm seeing Douglas firs in here. But Temple Hall, and what else am I seeing? It's a church with 2 firs out the front. I don't know if this was here, but there might be a second message here about dogma and any inner dogma, any inner, the word heresy and heretics come to mind, and there's something here about it, maybe being relevant to your journey in terms of yeah, my ear's burning. I'm like, there's something relevant to you in terms of this crashing old forms that are in any attachment perhaps to outdated beliefs that may or may not relate to religion, but probably are, given that this is sitting here. I think this is around this area. So, it's like the lightning bolt comes down and it clears everything, including these outdated beliefs. And it may, you may or may not be resistant to this, and if you are or aren't, either way, they might become part of your new, whatever you're creating in place becomes part of a new doctrine, for want of a better word. Your own personal doctrine, obviously. I mean, you're not out here trying to indoctrinate anybody else. So, I've got the letter P, and there's one other. No, that's the stamp we just read. Let's move this up. No, we'll leave it there. Okay, the other two stamps. We have a gate, and the gate is closed. I don't know if it's locked. These be friends, ever sympathetic, ever triv. Hang on. Let me read this from this side. An old book in an old garden. These be friends, ever sympathetic, ever triv. Never heard of the word triv, T-R-V-E. And it is showing a garden and a gate and a bench with a book on it. Awesome. So, like, if you find that you're shut out of one area, look for the area within the garden that you are maybe feeling like you're gated within. And I'm talking about on the inside. Where if spirit presents you with a gate, where it's like, hang on, hold up, and you feel like you can't go any further, take a step back and have a look within the area that you're sitting in to see where it is that you're being drawn to, where your attention's being pointed to explore a little more. Because in there you might find a nook, a book nook, a nook and cranny where you can just park up and explore without having to actually exert any force at all. You can find that stillness, but also in the stillness find a lot more answers than you actually expected in the first place. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but that's what I'm seeing here in this. It's really beautiful. So there is the okay, let me just hold this up. There is the gate right over here, and it is closed. And probably if you go back after you've read the book, you'll find that it's actually unlocked. But over here is the seat, and I didn't see it until I was like reading this and going, okay, there must be a bench here somewhere, and there's the bench, the book on it. It's very cool. There's a sundial over here, and this is a very lush garden. So your inner world, I think, is beautiful. We have, what is this? What is this? This looks like it might be Arabic, actually. Arabia. Yeah, it's Arabic. 10D. I think it's Arabic. I'm sounding really sure when actually. And it looks like a UFO or a mushroom. So you might have seen some of those signs. Okay. So we've got, it's interesting. We've got Arabic. So the stamps generally give me just a a general vibe in terms of like, whether a person is interested in travel, or whether that's a theme or something that might be highlighted within your field, your shared field with your person, because likely the things that are coming up here are also relevant to your person. Because it's a shared field, it can be talking about one or both of you, all right? But certainly one of these symbols has hopefully come up with you. We've got 2 keys here. There is a lot of mirroring going on here. Well, when I say a lot, there's sufficient mirroring for me seeing, but there is enough here for me to see that there is mirroring, and then there is also spirit present, because there is mirroring and then there is the power of 3 giving way to 4. Okay, anyway, that's enough. I don't know what's going on here, really. I'm just seeing like, what is it? The occult represented in a way that I wouldn't usually represent it. Okay, don't be afraid to take a risk. I think we read these letters, O and F. Don't be afraid to take a risk, right? This is Fool energy sitting right beside the Fool. And I know it's talking about your person, but like I said, mirror energy. Follow your passion. If you've got a proposal in mind, make it. This could relate to your person or could relate to work. Know your worth. This says someone is being manipulative. Now, we're pointing up here to this energy, right? And don't make this about your person manipulating you. Make this about the potential for either of you to be manipulative, but choosing to be in integrity. Romance is incoming. Go your own way. So, like, what this is clearly saying to me is that even if you're in the field or in a physical connection, either way, enjoy what may be present in terms of romance, but hold your own space. Maintain your own space, because that's what holds you in integrity. Maintain your own presence, so that codependency isn't created, because then you land back in this, you land in this energy here. We've got this like rock sitting over. It's a rock or a crystal. I think it's agate. In this space here where the heart is. I don't see this as like, a heavy heart. I see this as something certain, something sure, something that is real. There is a lady here, darkish hair, wearing a hat. It looks more like a beanie, with glasses on. Could be spectacles or sunglasses, with a V-neck pink top on. Okay, let's have a look at these. Getting to the last of the messages here. I think these might be from your person. Love you, but I'm committed elsewhere. It might be that they're committed to themselves and their growth. So, there's a good chance that your connection at this point in time is happening in the energetic field for the most part. I see your light and I like it. So your person, I think, is letting you know that you in this energy is helping them arrive at that place too. It's under here. Your person misses you. Rolling Stones miss you. This is interesting. This is giving me vibes of a very recent read I did. Letter R. Here's another song to look up. Goldford, Easy Does It. See, the word easy is here again. There's obviously a mindset that's going to be really helpful for you in adopting, and it's this. It's integrating. It's knowing that I think you can work with this energy. You can work with both the still and what is moving at breakneck speed, and they can alchemize without being in conflict with one another. And when you get on top of that, it's going to be really helpful, so helpful for you in dancing through this, creating this legacy. So Goldford, Easy Does It. And I've written something about this. I must have heard this one day. I'm not familiar with it, and I wrote it down because it was distinctive. A song about something precious, ain't easy to find. She wants to dive right in. He says, take it easy. Okay, there's a second message here. It's like, well, obviously the message is take it easy. But yeah, so you might be wanting to dive right in. And yet there is not a restriction here, but also this other space. So it's navigating that. And it is take it easy. And he says take it easy. Right? He says take it easy, or she says take it easy, whoever your person is. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we've got everything here. That's what I have for you, group number 2. That's what I have for you. So, I hope you found this of value. I hope you found this of use. And I hope we see you again on a future read. Group number 2, all the best, and we'll see you then. We'll talk to you then. All right, bye for now. Oh, if you saw a bow, there is a bow here. I forgot to mention it. And with that bow, trust that Spirit's got you. As in, this is a gift. And I was clearing up, and I just discovered... I've just discovered one that I missed. Let's help millions. This is this legacy. This is cool, okay? I'm glad that I spotted it, because it's actually probably something that you might have wanted to see or hear. So this higher soulmate, higher level connection that is currently represented here is one that's going to eventually help you both help a lot of people. Okay? Life is a game of tarot. My name is Mariah. Welcome to your reading, group number 3. This is the pre-read shuffle, and look, I've had a mix of messages come in right before your reading. It was like hit by a lightning bolt from my guides, your guides. And it was interesting because right ahead of this I had some really, really sweet songs playing. I was like, yay, I'm coming into this read. It's going to be a beautiful read. It was like, Is This Love? Bob Marley. And before that, something a little bit more like the 2025 version of If You See Us in the Club. I can sing a tune, I'm just not right now. Yeah, anyway. So I was coming into this read thinking this is like, some really fiery, warm, beautiful energy. And then I had a retake on that with a message from my guides that is coming in like tower energy. So I'm being asked to not sugarcoat this read, not sugarcoat it, and to give it straight. So I'm going to do my best to do that. And I think that there should be a preface here about, if you are here for sugarcoating, know that I will be doing my best to not sugarcoat and to provide truth, frequency, and Queen of Swords energy. And Emperor energy, because apparently you need it. So like, I'm just saying group 3. I'm just saying, okay. All right. So that aside, let us shuffle. And are we? This is kicking off our read. This card set, is this card set the one? Yes or no? No. No. Which one? This one? Yes or no? No. This one? Yes. No. No. Then what? No. Then what? Which one? We're running out of options here. Which card set? Which is the yes? Are we going up? Straight up. Rider Waite. Okay. Which one? Yes, straight up, Rider Waite. Alright. Rider Waite with a bit of reflection. Okay, where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? Oh, by the way, we'll do this at the start of the read. Hopefully I'll remember. And what is awakening within your person? What is awakening within your person? This one? This one? Okay, this one. What is awakening within them? What is awakening within them? This is looking good. Which one? This one? Yeah. This one? Yeah. Either or. Maybe this one, because there's this chance of exposed body parts. What is awakening within you? Group number 3. What is awakening within you? How is this connection shifting or evolving? Hang on a second. 1, 2, 3. This is awakening. Oh, okay. I've got a little issue to sort out here. Where's your person at right now in relation to the connection? What is awakening within them? This is awakening within them. I've also asked the same question here. What is awakening within them? So I'm going to keep this here because I've asked the question. What is awakening within you? How is this connection shifting or evolving? Oh, am I going to take all of these? No, just reshuffle. How is this connection shifting or evolving? Looks good. Moon energy. Alright. on the bottom here. Pentacles. Message from the shared field. Let's move these across here. This one, yes or no? No? What about this one? Yes or no? No. There's another deck. Which one? Messages from the shared field. Alright. Oh. This one or Oracle? Oracle. Oracle it is. Message from the shared field or higher self. And last one, the portal, this connection is opening up within you. This one? Yeah. Go with this one. There's the tower right there. Okay. I was told it would be the tower, and it's the tower. Right. Let me just get all of the cards on the table. We didn't move this across. Now. No. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Life is a Game of Tarot. My name is Mariah, and we're going to get straight into it by starting with the charms that I've got to set off to the side here underneath what I think is Angel Aura Quartz. I think it's Angel Aura Quartz. Inside that box is a bunch of charms, just in case you didn't listen to the intro. I do recommend you go back and listen to the intro, because I do talk about the soul-aligned connection and what it is in relation to this read. And also I talk about the fact that I'm weaving in intuition into the read. So what I ask you to do, and what I'm asking you to do in this moment, is if you need to, pause the video and take a moment to bring an image to mind. Either feel it, hear it, see it, know it. However it is you use your psychic abilities. Tune in. Allow yourself to receive an image, and then look for it in the charms. Okay? And that's how we are testing our intuition today. And probably in every other reading going forward. We'll see. So, here's the thing, group number 3. Your reading. You are... And I can see it here, and it's interesting that I'm starting off with this. The connection that is actually opening up within you is the tower. And right before I started this reading, I was, let's just say, guided to providing the reading in a very specific tone. Obviously in my tone, but in a way that is very direct. and without sugarcoating. So I will do my best, given I like sugar. I'm laughing because I can hear the communication coming in. I'm being told I need less sugar. Okay, so anyway, sorry for laughing in your ear. It's these are aspects of myself. I have a sense of humour. So I've started off there. I'm going to come back to the start and I'm going to read through. So the question that we're asking to open up the read outside of what we just did is, where is your person at right now in relation to the connection? What is it they're processing? What is alive in their field? We have Judgment in reverse and we have the Page of Wands in reverse. There may be some reticence here to move through deep transformation. There's some other energy here. I suspect we're going to get to this soon, but I'm going to race through this because I think what's important in this reading is actually over here. What is awakening within your person? A deeper layer that's rising to the surface. There's definitely something here about making choices that is in relation to their highest timeline. If I need to, I'm going to come back to this. What is awakening within you, group number 3? The Tower. The Tower, bro. The Tower. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So, here's the thing. I've talked about this in the pre-read shuffle. Maybe go back and have a look at it, but I'm probably going to mention it again here now. I started this read. Before this read, I was in La La Land. I was like enjoying like just Riz factor in the music, and that changed into like is this love that I'm feeling, and Bob Marley, and it was like, oh wow, this is going to be such a cool read. And as I went to sit down, I was like, ooh, like I'm getting messages in real sharp and hard. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And it's this energy. It's this energy right here. And the message that, like I said, not to sugarcoat it, to Queen of Swords this, read. And it's got something to do, I think, with the way that you might be perceiving this connection. But there's another reality here that's about to be shown to you. So, yeah, let's dig deeper. Let's dig deeper into this. As I'm talking about this, one of the things that's coming to mind is how things are not always as they seem. And it may be that there is a way that you are perceiving things that is not correct, or that is about to be readjusted. The way that you're seeing things or experiencing things may not be necessarily true. But it also could be a test. I don't know yet. I'm just getting pinged again. Let's move on. We got strength here, and the how's this connection shifting or evolving? So this is field movement. It's a softening here. It's a strengthening through softening. So this tower moment is, and with the Queen of Pentacles, is bringing you into a space of I would say heart expansion, but heart expansion in a way that is deepening your compassion and your self-compassion. Well, your self-compassion and then compassion for others. We may come back to this. Message from the shared field or higher self. What wants to be known, even if unspoken. Winter. So this might not be the message that you were hoping for out of this reading. But stay with me, because unless there's no resonance with this reading at all, if there's no resonance, obviously step out. But if there is resonance, keep listening, because I wouldn't be being given this read. If it wasn't for the purpose of assisting you on your journey. Okay, and like I said, sometimes things that appear one way can be another, and yet can still be another. So, we have for you how this actually, no, this is message from the shared field. I can see what's happening within the field of the energetic field between you and your person. I see the word entanglement came to mind. See, for me personally, entanglement can be a good thing or it can be a destructive thing. It really depends on what's happening within that entanglement. Because within that entanglement, fears can be exacerbated, but so can illusions. What I see here is a stripping back of illusion with this winter card and this shed old skin. And what is not true, I can see being revealed. What is not real, what is not true. But it might occur initially as feeling empty. Well, it's winter. And in winter everything goes silent and goes cold. It's funny because you'd expect to be putting on more clothes, but here we have shed your old skin. These readings, by the way, are very much about the eye of the needle. And it is very much about shedding old skin. So, in this period, the field is likely about to become cold, and you may have already started noticing that outside of what you might be projecting into it. And there is a test here. One of the biggest tests, it reminds me of one of the biggest tests I had. And it reminds me of this actually. Through that process, I had to work out what was true and what wasn't. But I did work out what was true. And it was in essence, it was devotional. But I recognized where the heart of that devotion lay. And the heart of that devotion lay in spirit and my relationship with God, my relationship with Source. But I also recognized that through that connection and the depth of respect that I had for it, well, that was it. It was that I recognized the depth of respect. And through that, the ability to experience devotion in a very co-creative way with that person. And I mention this because I feel like you're about to be tested. In recognizing what is real for you. And that is where you will be passing through the eye of the needle. They're like ascension points. I always thought the eye of the needle was like just one place. But now I recognize it's like a series of places. It's like, oh, gone through the eye of the needle, yay. Oh look, there's another one. There's another one coming up. But yeah, this is where I see, or what I see happening. And if your person is in this place where they're not doing transformation, no, this person could be. And they literally could be in some cases. And this is going to be dependent on, this situation, because it is a collective read, could vary read to read. And your person literally could be just in a place of not yet embracing any transformation, not wanting to explore that at all, or they might not be a true representation of who you believe they are. I trust that in speaking this to you, you will understand what it is I'm saying and what it is I'm giving you. Well, I think I said the same thing twice, but yeah. And me personally, I would rather someone say this to me straight than feel any degree of pity for me. Or like be already jumping to a place of commiseration. But I don't think that literally it's because I don't think it's that at all. I don't think it requires anything else other than leaning in, really. I'm just going back on the word I've got it ringing in my head. Why would I use the word commiseration? I think because I'm relating this to my own previous experiences where I've received guidance that was like, oh, and it's like, just shut up. Just shut up. I don't want your opinion about it. I just want to know. I just want to know what I'm dealing with. So, in the same way, I receive the message, I place it on the table, and I trust that you have the wisdom and ability to walk forward with it. I actually don't know there's too much more to be said here. It is a time of testing, but the testing is working out what is left underneath that skin that you shed. And to allow that tower, right? That is the portal this connection is opening within you, to allow that tower to fall so that you can see what remains, and then how you walk forward, what it is you're building. I'm only sorry it's a short read. I was about to say I'm sorry, group 3, but the thing that I'm sorry about is that it's not a longer read. It just doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be a longer read. I think you've got what you need here. Okay, so that said, I'm going to. Just let me just have a look at the back of the decks. The decks here. Yeah, it is moon. There is moon energy here in the area of the connection and what is shifting or evolving. Actually, I said this is what is awakening within you, but this is what is awakening within you. And how's this connection shifting or evolving? Yeah, it's the development of strength. Well, I mean, I said it in a roundabout way, I guess. But yeah, I was just looking to see which deck corresponded, or what line this deck corresponded with, and it is about how the connection is shifting or evolving. It is entering a period of, with the moon, right? That is the time where illusions are more pronounced, and to get through to those, or to work out what is real, requires moving into the space of freeze. I'm like, hang on, how does that analogy end? I suppose where everything becomes suspended in time so that you can see it more clearly, but you can see it for what it is. And like I said, work out what's real, shed the skin. And this is a beautiful process, because you do come out of that process with a recognition of what is important to you, and that is powerful. Okay, so, but yeah, I just looking at the Chariot here, and the Ten of Wands, it's great. There's stuff you're going to be putting down, burden you're going to be putting down in this process. But I also see here that it's going to be pretty. I feel like it's going to be a pretty quick process. And there's a lot of this energy, Tower, the Chariot here, and all of this major arcana on the table, virtually there. And it is going to be grounding for you as well, with this Queen of Pentacles here. It is going to bring you back into a space of self-nurturing, which is going to be absolutely awesome. Okay, I'm going to get into the charms. Oh, by the way, have you taken the time to, in your mind's eye, focus on an object or a number or a letter, something that we'll hopefully see in the charms. Not hopefully, that we will likely see, that will confirm for you your intuition, and also your pile, and also your group. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, we have the letter C, the letter I, the letter K. We have a cat. I'm just going to point out actually the things that are seeing on the cards before I move them all. where's my feather? We have a cat here, over the top of the Queen of the Pentacles. You might have a familiar. You might be a cat lover or have a familiar. You might also have mice. Mice running around in your house. Or you might have fixed on a mouse. Disney is represented here, of course. With Mickey Mouse. Is that Mickey Mouse? What is this saying, actually? Celebrate happy. I don't know if there is a happy mouse, so we're just going to say it's Mickey. Which is, there's also a dog here, so you may have dog and cats around you. You might be an animal person. But yeah, there's another cat here. So yeah, I suspect you either have a cat or cats. And possibly a dog. But definitely cats here, over the top of the Queen of Shields or Queen of Pentacles. Likely they... I was going to say help you feel more grounded. I mean, you know, cats are just wonderful companions, as much as dogs are. Well, all animals are. Anyway, I'm going to carry on because that's where the transmission ends on that one. I got a butterfly over the top of the star card. This is relating to your person, most likely. But, you know, there's a period, there's something transformational happening here in this space. And it'll be something, I think, that's going to be part of your discovery. And also the scissors here, it's like something being cut away. And I'm going to guess that it's about illusions. I've got a guitar over the top of this as well. So it's over the top of you. You could be a guitar player or play guitar or just musical instruments in general. So we've got over the top of the Strength card here, which is in the position of how is this connection shifting or evolving. Now, we've got the word, I'm pretty sure that says I love you. Oh yeah, it's a letter here, I love you. Because of what I've read so far, I'm inclined to read that with some bias, so I'm just going to leave it there and let it be what it is. USA, happy, 2 words over here. We've got a starfish here. We've got a mirror here, like a little hammer. It's pretty cute. Here we have Chewbacca, Star Wars. We have a key right beside the mirror. I'm just going to say, dude, mirror work. Mirror work is going to be really helpful to you. I'm saying dude, but I'm seeing feminine energy here, just by the way. I know I've already referenced you as bro, bro and dude, but yeah, I mean, I've got teenagers and everyone is bro. So V A. Eat, beach, sleep, retreat. And that is the vibe here, by the way. It's entering a period of just where everything goes silent. And you are literally left with whatever is sitting with you. Scorpio. X. Okay, let's have a look at these. We have Ex Libris, Dr. Andre Veres. This might be Belgian or probably more likely German, Kolosva or Russian. I don't know. It doesn't look Russian in terms of the writing. But he's reading the newspaper or some documents. This man with a big moustache. And there's a library up behind him. But he's reading documents. Actually, no, he's signing a document. He's signing a contract or a document. And we have here a group of horns. What are these? I must find that out. It's like the sheep horns. Oh, the yodeling song. The yodeling song with Julie Andrews, Sound of Music. It's the same ones that they I think they use when they're herding goats. I might be making this up, by the way. I don't even know. It's like, it reminds me of that vibe. We have an alligator or a crocodile. So, yeah. I don't want to keep referring to your person because I know we're being drawn back into you. So, like, I'll let it sit there so that you're reading it rather than me reading it with bias. I'm more interested in knowing how you feel. Don't get lost in this connection. And that's basically what I've been guided to point out here, is just the amount of self that you're being called back to. We have a football player or a rugby player or a soccer rugby. Okay. I'm not going to qualify the difference between them. Okay. We'll clarify. We have this star with this is about you. This is about your development of your sovereign self and finding your center. Because, and you're going to either resonate with this or not, and if you don't, it's definitely not your pile. But I think you might have made this person the center of your being, and this is what you're being called back into. Because somewhere in the illusions or in the projections, there might have been a losing of self, and it's like, remember who you are here. This is going to give you this period. And you know what remains at the end of it? If you at the end of this period find that this person is still the one, it will become clear to you. I've got Pisces, Virgo, Scorpio, Taurus, Capricorn on the dice, but visible to me is Pisces, Virgo, and I think Scorpio. We've seen Scorpio over here again as well. Okay, we have the moon. Yeah, the moon is here in full force. Oh gosh, I don't know what these are. I think we're looking at South Node. I better pull out my handy dandy planet decoder. All the Schumann resonances up at 34%. Planets. Symbols. Astro. Okay, so on the dice we have South Node. We have South Node and what is that one? Is that Neptune? Oh gosh, and let me just see if it... I think it's Neptune. Yeah. Actually, no, it's Uranus. Okay, it's Uranus, ruler of Aquarius. And that one there is... Man, I really need to learn these. Don't judge me. Venus. What else is up the top here? And that one is Saturn. So Saturn is represented here a couple of times. So we've got definitely got Capricorn on here. We have well, Saturn, Capricorn, like I said, Venus, Taurus, What else did I say here? Oh, darn it. Yeah, I said Venus. Oh, Mars. Okay, Mars is here as well. So, you know, some of these might be in your placements. That might provide some more clarification or confirmation for you, perhaps. Now, what else do we see here? I'm going to read these messages in a second. You could love music. You know what? It's not that you could love music. You love music. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to put these over here. I've got a couple more stamps. Interesting. These are not giving me travel vibes. That's not to say that you don't love travel, but they're not giving me travel vibes. We do have Scotland. I think that's the thistle. Okay, I lie. They're giving me travel vibes. Arizona here with the cactus in the background, flowers as well. We have a donut, sweet tooth. So you might resonate with liking a lot of sugar. So you might be prone to a lot of illusion. Okay, I'm going to read those in a second. Let's just get here. I'm going to read all these messages, which are probably just going to enforce any illusion that you have, but they're here, so I'm going to read them. We have a train and Czechoslovensko. Oh my gosh, Czechoslovensko 6. Okay, that's the best I can do. It's a train, but it's a modern train actually. So something like out of the 90s, maybe a bit later. 1982. So you could be born in the year 82. 23rd of the 3rd, 82 is the date on here. Hey, that's cool. Right, just put those over here. There's a bunch of messages we're going to read. Some will be from your guides. Some will be from your person. Read, take with caution. I'm being instructed. I'm trying to stay true to that. So you take those with caution. We've got sing and we've got true. We've got an umbrella. We've got a person here with sort of thick eyebrows, curly dark blonde hair. We have I always thought this was an estuary, but it's actually a walk along what looks like a safari. Yeah, it's a safari. With a giraffe in the background. So South Africa, I think. I don't know. Like, don't hang me out to dry if that's wrong. Okay, so that is pretty much all of the charms that I can see. We've got the peace symbol. Sunglasses. I think I've covered everything else except for these messages. So let's wrap it up and bring it in, group 3. You do have a lot of messages, and it's just occurred to me, if you're going through a testing time, this might be things to put in your tank before you walk out into the valley. This is what I'm seeing here. Okay, so I'm going to read the ones that are from your guides first. Actually, which ones do I want to read first? Maybe I'll read the ones from the guides last. Oh, interesting. So we have a man here too that I missed, with glasses and a beard and wearing this person's pretty old-fashioned, I'd say. Well, unless they're being cutting edge with fashion, or being particularly cool with fashion, hipster vibes. They're wearing suspenders with not a bow tie, but a tie, and it is giving hipster. And there's a hat here and a beard. I think I mentioned glasses. Okay, that said, let's get into these. I will leave the guided ones till last. No, you know what? No, I'm going to leave these till last. The word creative is here as well. You both might be creative. Now, I'm going to read these messages, whether these messages are from the person that you are currently in this field with and that you're about to experience in a way where that person doesn't actually exist, so that you can see what's real, something along those lines. Whether these messages are from that person or whether they're from the person, because there will be an ascension counterpart, I will assume, because you're already picking up on them. But there's going to be some lack of clarity here, I can see, about the how, what, when, why, who. Okay? But that'll all come together. Don't worry about it. You just go through this, allow those towers to fall, allow yourself to sit in that winter to see what is real for yourself. Okay? Now, let me read the guided stuff first, and I'll save these for after because I just know how nice they are. At these times, it's time to shine. Okay? And this is what I saw right here. It's time to recognize your own power and come to the center of it for real. Don't get lost in this connection. I don't know if I've already said that, but yeah, don't get lost in the connection. And this is what this period's going to help you to do, is get back to your center. Your friendship will provide this connection with a solid foundation. So perhaps this person is a friend, and know that you can come back to this friendship probably if what you find as you go through this is that this person actually isn't what you thought they were. You might find that actually it's the other way around. Like I said, it's a time for testing. Expect communication. So, you might have been out of communication with this person. You could have been out of communication with that person. But the communication, if you're having it, it's likely to come in the physical, I would say. Make a choice and go with it. All roads lead home. Okay, you heard that. So do that. I'm going to put this here. Now, messages from your person. Let go and let God. Which is ironic given this over here. So this one will be coming from their higher self. And this is one of this is one of the things I think is so important, is that if you're not doing this anyway, if you're not surrendered to your devotion, or if you're not sitting, let me use different words. I'm not a fan of surrender, though I know it's a thing. But if you're not committed to your devotion to God, when you are like looking at your soul's true nature and purpose, where does that heart of that service lie? And when you think about it, like when you're looking at unconditional love, for example, and this is probably going to test you on that, what does that mean to you? Would you support this person in their development, even if you knew that nothing was going to come of it? Does your relationship with the divine, is it strong enough that you would assist this person, even if you knew that there would be no other benefit than assisting them? I think you're about to discover that. The answer to that question, if you can't answer it now. Message from your person: I have control issues. And you might already realize that this might be mirror energy. I'll work my ass off for this, for us. So, this transformation with your person, or with this person, they may not be able to. There might be some kind of hold here, and it's the way that energy works when you're not focused on yourself and you are instead trying to control the situation. It ends up having a reverse effect, right? And whatever transformation the other person needs to be doing, it doesn't happen because there's so much energy being sort of misdirected. I'm more interested in knowing how you feel. So you might be asking a lot about how they feel, and it's a call back to and I feel like this is coming from this person's higher self. It's a call back to, well, how do you feel? What do you want? What's important to you? I am extremely possessive. I don't have a further line on that. Now this one says, this is a song. I'll look up the lyrics for this and see how this fits with you. This is from the Marshall Tucker Band. Can't You See is the name of the song. And the lyrics I've written down here is, a man who fell in love and is going through all kinds of pains to escape feeling it. And yeah, while your attention is on this person, they certainly I'm saying certainly, but I'm probably better to revise and say that they might not have the space to be able to feel it. Anyway, have a look at the lyrics, have a look at that song. I think it's an old one. And this is a message from your person. Let's build together. Okay? So that is your reading, group number. So yeah, this will either resonate with you or not. But that is generally these, by the way, these kind of counterparts, these kind of connections, they are generally, in my experience, a co-creative process to assist you on reaching your highest timeline for the purpose of the service that is sitting between you and God, or you and Source, however you want to phrase that. But it is service that is designed to help a lot of people. So, let's build together. Should be making a lot of sense to you. Alright, that's your reading, group number 3. I hope that's been helpful to you. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love it if you did, obviously. And interact with this. And, come back and let me know how this period was for you. Embrace the adventure, lean into your curiosity, and enjoy it, because it's probably going to be a lot shorter than you think. These periods can be intense, but they're not so long that you have to get lost, or that you will get lost. All right, and trust in yourself. All right. Okay, I think that's it. We'll see you in the next reading, group number 3. All right, bye for now. Just wonder if there's anything else I need to end out with. No, I think we're good. All right.